For 18 years, he was the golden son. The one who stayed out of the drama, the one who cooked breakfast for a dozen siblings while the adults were still asleep, the one who carried the weight of a dynasty on his teenage shoulders. But in the quiet suburbs of Nevada, the silence has finally broken. Logan Brown has spent a decade running from the cameras that defined his childhood. But today, the distance isn't just physical. It's legal, it's emotional, and it's final. The words the world never expected to hear have been uttered. Kody is no longer my father. Coming up, we reveal the specific legal filing that changed everything, the secret meeting with the siblings that sparked the Great Exodus, and why this name change isn't just about a brand, it's about survival. You won't want to miss the breakdown of the 2024 tax records that signaled this split months before it hit the headlines. The archetype of the firstborn. To understand why Logan Brown is walking away, we have to look at the man he was forced to be. In the early days of Sister Wives, Logan wasn't just a son, he was a surrogate parent. In Season 1, Episode 2, we see the reality of the Brown family structure. While Kody was rotating between 3, and soon 4, houses, Logan was the morning anchor. Research into fundamentalist polygamous dynamics suggests that the firstborn son often carries a burden. Fan reaction Reddit Sister Wives, Logan didn't have a childhood. He had a shift. Watching him make eggs for everyone while Kody talked about leadership was the first red flag we ever saw. But as the family moved to Las Vegas, something shifted. Logan chose a different path. He chose UNLV. He chose a career in community development. He chose silence. But what happened during the 2022 Christmas text thread that finally pushed the most level-headed Brown over the edge? That answer lies in a deleted social media interaction we've recovered. The breakdown didn't happen overnight. It was a series of micro-traumas. When the family moved to Flagstaff, Logan stayed behind. He was building a life with Michelle Petty, a life that notably lacked the chaos of the plural lifestyle. Historically, when eldest sons leave patriarchal structures, it's rarely about a single fight. It's about enmeshment versus individuation. Psychologists suggest that Logan's refusal to film for the later seasons was his first legal boundary. Then came the COVID-19 protocols. Kody's strict rules didn't just alienate Gabe and Garrison, they signaled to Logan that his mother, Janelle, was being sidelined. Remember Season 17, when Kody screamed about sacrifices he made to love Janelle? Logan wasn't on screen, but sources close to the family say he was the one on the phone with Janelle every night, advising her on her exit strategy. In 10 minutes, we analyze the symbolic weight of the name Brown and the specific surname Logan is rumored to be adopting to honor a different lineage. I am my own man. Those close to Logan say this became his mantra. The breaking of silence isn't a loud shout, it's a quiet legal severance. By declaring, Kody is no longer my father, Logan is addressing the concept of biological versus functional fatherhood. Kody's focus shifted entirely to Robyn's children. In Kody's own words from a 2023 tell-all, "I don't have sons that want to obey me." Logan's response: he doesn't want to be a subject to a king, he wants to be a son to a father. If the father is gone, the title goes with it. Logan is the only one who escaped with his dignity intact. By changing his name, He's protecting his future children from the Brown stigma. What does this mean for the future of the Brown legacy? It's a total collapse of the patriarchal tower Kody built. The domino effect. Janelle's independence. Logan is Janelle's rock. His exit gave her the emotional permission to leave. With the eldest gone, Leon, Peyton, and the others are no longer bound by the unity Logan once enforced. The brand, the sister wives name is now synonymous with fractured relationships rather than multiplied love. Logan Brown is no longer a character in a reality show. He is a private citizen reclaiming his identity. Logan Brown's silence was never a sign of weakness. It was a strategy. By officially declaring his independence, he has done what no one else in the family could. He has fired Kody Brown from the role of father. The crown is broken, but the man is finally free. He isn't the golden son anymore. He's just Logan. And that is exactly who he always wanted to be. Let's deep dive in full details. In September 2010, American audiences were introduced to a family unlike anything they had seen on mainstream television. The TLC reality series Sister Wives premiered with a bold promise. It would show viewers the real lives of a modern polygamist family. At the center of it all was Kody Brown, a charismatic and often controversial father who shared his life with 4 wives and more than a dozen children. The Browns explained that their goal was simple. They wanted to normalize plural marriage and challenge public stereotypes. But from the very first episode, viewers quickly realized that this was more than a cultural documentary. It was a family under pressure. When cameras first arrived, the Browns lived together in Lehi, Utah. The household was enormous. Kody rotated between 4 wives: Meri, Janelle, Christine, and eventually Robyn. At the time, the family had 13 children, with more on the way. Among them was the eldest child in the entire Brown family, Logan Taylor Brown. Born on May 21, 1994, Logan was the first son of Janelle Brown and Kody Brown. Sister Wives Wiki, and in many ways, he grew up carrying responsibilities that few teenagers ever experience. From the earliest episodes of Sister Wives, Logan stood out. He was calm, responsible, often acting as the unofficial older brother, and sometimes even a second parent. Viewers frequently noticed something unusual. While Kody traveled between houses and relationships, Logan often stepped in to help raise his younger siblings. Fans still remember scenes where Logan cooked breakfast for the entire household. He helped the younger kids get ready for school. He kept the peace when the house became chaotic. It was responsibility far beyond his age. Many viewers quietly asked the same question. Where was Kody? Over time, the dynamics of the Brown family became increasingly complicated. The show documented major life changes. In 2011, the family moved from Utah to Las Vegas after fears of prosecution under state anti-polygamy laws. Later, they relocated again to Flagstaff, Arizona. Throughout these moves, Logan slowly began stepping away from the cameras. He pursued college. He built a life outside the reality television spotlight. Unlike many of his siblings, Logan chose privacy. And that decision may have said more than words ever could. Behind the scenes, the Brown family was facing growing tension. Plural marriage had always been complex. But as the years passed, the emotional fractures became harder to hide. One by one, Kody's marriages began to collapse. In 2021, Christine Brown left the relationship. In 2022, Janelle confirmed she had separated from Kody. Shortly after, Meri's long-troubled marriage also came to an end. By 2023, Kody Brown was left with only one wife, Robyn. For the children, the consequences were enormous. Their entire family structure had changed. Some of the Brown children began speaking openly about their strained relationships with their father. One particularly explosive moment came when Leon Brown criticized Kody publicly, calling him a liar and a joke of a father. The comment shocked fans, but it also revealed something deeper. Many of the Brown children felt unheard, ignored, or emotionally abandoned. Even Kody himself has acknowledged the damage. During an appearance on the reality competition show Special Forces, World's Toughest Test, he admitted something deeply personal. He struggled to maintain relationships with many of his children. "I should have had a stronger relationship with my children," he said while reflecting on his regrets as a father. People.com. For fans who had followed the family for more than a decade, the statement felt long overdue. But for some of Kody's children, it may have come too late. And this is where Logan's story becomes especially important. Because Logan was never the loudest voice in the room. He rarely criticized his father publicly. He rarely appeared in headlines. Instead, he quietly built a separate life. After graduating from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, Logan moved forward with a more private future. In 2022, he married Michelle Petty in a ceremony attended by family members and friends. But even that happy moment carried tension. Kody later revealed that he had actually considered skipping the wedding because of ongoing family conflicts. Yahoo! For many fans, that admission felt shocking. A father debating whether to attend his eldest son's wedding. It became another moment that raised uncomfortable questions about the family dynamic. Over the years, viewers began noticing something else. Logan was almost completely absent from new seasons of Sister Wives. Unlike several siblings who continued appearing on the show, Logan stepped away entirely. The decision was deliberate. Privacy, distance, and perhaps, healing. Fans debated the reasons endlessly. Was Logan protecting himself? Was he protecting his marriage? Or was he quietly distancing himself from the chaos that had defined his childhood? Online communities quickly filled the silence with speculation. On Reddit, one fan wrote, "Logan stepped up when Kody didn't. He basically raised those kids." Reddit. Another user commented, "He's been more of a father figure to his siblings than Kody ever was." These comments reflect a sentiment that has spread across fan communities for years. Logan wasn't just the oldest child. He was the stabilizing force. Facebook groups dedicated to the show often echo the same feeling. Many fans describe Logan as the emotional anchor of the Brown family. A quiet leader. A brother who protected the younger children from conflict. In many ways, he represented the opposite of reality television drama. He represented maturity, responsibility, and restraint. To understand the depth of the family's challenges, it's also important to consider the cultural context behind the Browns' lifestyle. The family practiced a form of fundamentalist Mormon polygamy associated with the Apostolic United Brethren. Plural marriage itself is illegal in the United States. However, the Browns argued that they were legally married to only one spouse at a time, while the other relationships were spiritual unions. Still, their lifestyle sparked legal controversy. In fact, the Brown family once filed a major lawsuit challenging Utah's anti-polygamy laws. The case, Brown v. Buman, reached the U.S. Court of Appeals. The legal battle highlighted the complicated intersection between religious freedom and American law. Wikipedia. But while the adults fought legal battles, the children were navigating emotional ones. Growing up in a polygamous household meant constant adjustment, new siblings, new houses, new rules, and eventually, television cameras. For Logan, the experience was unique. He was old enough to remember life before the show, but young enough to grow up under the spotlight. That kind of childhood leaves a mark. Former episodes of Sister Wives captured moments that now feel prophetic. In one early storyline, the family prepared for Logan's high school graduation. The event symbolized more than just academic achievement. It represented independence, the first Brown child stepping into adulthood. At the time, Kody spoke proudly about his son's accomplishments. But even then, Logan seemed eager to build a life outside the family system. Over the years, the Brown family continued evolving. Christine remarried in 2023. Janelle pursued a new independent life. Meri focused on business ventures and personal growth. And the once massive plural marriage structure slowly collapsed. Today, the family looks dramatically different from the one viewers met in 2010. But the emotional fallout continues. For Logan, the story is deeply personal. He witnessed the rise of the family brand, the fame, the criticism, and eventually the fragmentation. Some fans believe his silence speaks volumes. Others argue that stepping away from reality TV may have been the healthiest decision he ever made. Psychologists who study family systems often note that the oldest child in large households frequently carries a unique burden. Responsibility tends to fall on their shoulders. They become mediators, caretakers, problem solvers. In extreme cases, they experience something called parentification, a dynamic where a child takes on adult responsibilities too early. Many viewers believe Logan experienced exactly that. Looking back at old footage, the pattern becomes clear. Logan managing morning routines. Logan helping siblings with homework. Logan maintaining calm during family disagreements. While Kody traveled between homes and marriages, Logan often became the emotional constant. And fans noticed. Today, discussions about Logan Brown have become symbolic of something larger. He represents a generation of children raised in unconventional family structures under the glare of reality television. And his story raises uncomfortable questions. What happens when the cameras leave? What happens when the children grow up? What happens when the family story no longer belongs to the parents? Online communities continue debating those questions. YouTube comment sections are filled with reflections from longtime viewers. One comment reads, "Logan was the real adult in that house." Another viewer wrote, "He escaped the drama and built a normal life. That's the biggest victory." And perhaps that is the most important part of Logan's story. Not conflict, not scandal, but distance. Meanwhile, Kody Brown continues confronting the consequences of his fractured relationships. In interviews, he has spoken openly about regret. He acknowledges that many of his children feel distant from him. And rebuilding those relationships may take years, if it happens at all. Family reconciliation is never simple, especially when the conflicts have been documented for millions of viewers. For fans of Sister Wives, Logan Brown remains one of the most respected figures in the entire franchise. Not because of drama, but because of the lack of it. He chose a quiet life, a private marriage, a career outside reality television. And perhaps most importantly, he chose his own path. Whether Logan and Kody ever fully repair their relationship remains unknown. Family relationships are complicated. They evolve. They heal. Sometimes they drift apart forever. But Logan's journey reflects something universal. The moment when a child grows up and decides what kind of life they want to live, even if that life looks nothing like the one they were raised in. For more than a decade, viewers watched the Brown family navigate faith, love, conflict, and fame. But behind every episode, there were real children growing up in real time. Logan Brown was the first, the oldest, and perhaps the one who understood earliest that the future didn't have to repeat the past. The cameras may still follow the Brown family. The debates will continue. Fans will keep analyzing every episode, every interview, every social media post. But Logan Brown has already made his choice. A life outside the spotlight. A life beyond the expectations of a televised family. And maybe, that silence tells the real story. One that doesn't need cameras to be understood. Logan's journey is a blueprint for setting boundaries. What do you think about his decision to change his name? Is it a betrayal or a breakthrough? Let us know in the comments below. And for more deep dives into the hidden lives of the Brown family, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Would you like me to analyze Janelle's secret business filings next?